All right, so hey guys. So I know from like a lot of the top 10 series, a lot of you guys want to see for a long time what it was that I saw in certain coaches that made me think that they were good and certain coaches that I thought were bad. I've been doing this for a long time, and it was actually at first, it was a big portion that I just noticed that something seemed off. So if I was talking about a certain guy or I was like looking at his stuff, it was just like this, the content seemed off, like for different reasons. Maybe like one, I'm just like, that's just not how that interaction would work. And instantaneously I know it was fake, but I wouldn't know why. Maybe it'd be something along the lines of like, I'd look at the game style and I know that the way the girls are reacting, I could tell the girls are nervous or weirded out, or the guy's not very calibrated, the guy can't read the social cues. So there's so many different things you can look at game-wise to tell like how much somebody's actually worked at their game versus maybe stagnating, maybe like just falling off, not really actually trying to improve. And you can also tell the way, by the way they act and the way they do with their content, the way that they teach their clients, what they say the client, like to the clients, are actually the most important things, which oftentimes are not. Oftentimes I've seen a lot of coaches that actually are teaching their clients the worst possible techniques to try to improve. So I thought this would be like a really good little way of doing this. So here, let me actually move my face really fast if I can. There we go. Let's put you over here. All right, so we got it: beginner, intermediate, and advanced, and mastery. Now, really quickly, just so you guys know where you're at. I don't know if you guys see my pointer. If you can't, then it's going to be pointless. Beginner, first and foremost, is somebody that can't read social cues. I call it being in the mist. It's where you have absolutely no idea what you're doing wrong or right, and it just seems like you're just beating your head against the wall pointlessly. And so for you, when you're in this zone, you're literally just blind. You're almost like have a blindfold on. No girls like you. You don't ever get a good result. You're literally just so blind when it comes to like getting improvements with women. So that's the first stage. Intermediate is where you start coming out of it. I would say mid-intermediate is when you start coming out of the mist, like a lot more hard. Early intermediate is where you start like getting phone numbers here and there, and they start getting more and more. And then like you're not really getting a lot of, you're still getting flakes, but you start as you get higher into intermediacy, like you get less and less flaking. So that's that stage. And then from here, advanced is where you become that which you were trying to imitate. You're authentically a cool guy and you're just the person you are. At this point, time becomes your asset. Time becomes attraction, because the longer a girl hangs out with you, the more that she's actually going to be into you. So that's what I think about with that. It's the more that you hang out the girl, the more she's going to get attracted, as opposed to in intermediacy, the longer you hang out the girl, the more she's going to like dislike you. So you feel like you have to rush the interaction with the girl to get the clothes, to get sex, to get some kind of investment from her. Mastery is something completely different. And mastery is actually something the rarest of all rare. I only think there's a very, very small handful of guys, like I mean very small, like literally like 3 or 4 guys that might be in mastery. Mastery is like basically where you can demonstrate a technique. You can understand what you're doing wrong or right. You can understand, like basically understand every aspect. You can demonstrate on command a certain technique or understanding. Basically, it's where you go out and game for like 2 years straight, 10 years straight. Like it's an insane amount of like, basically like the guys that are in this stage are absolute fucking masters and on a different level. Basically, it's like where you're trying to work on every little like 1%. It's like if Michael Jordan was to practice this with the same intensity, that would be mastery. So anybody in mastery is like somebody that just takes this extremely fucking seriously and doesn't like bullshit around. So first, here, let me show you guys this. So boom, 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 boom. So here's a really good way of just like summarizing this. So if you're looking at a coach and you're asking yourself, are they doing all natural game, day game? Are they doing mystery method, red pill guys? They probably reside there. If they're not people that you would be friends with outside of you, so if you're watching them on YouTube and you're like, this guy's not very cool, or this guy's in like one of the popular kids, there's a good chance that has no idea what he's fucking doing. If he's very awkward when he's like talking to girls, if he doesn't have a very good sense of humor, if when you listen to him, he doesn't sound very charismatic, chances are he's pretty fucking bad with girls. Like there's no two ways about it. Like if the guy's saying things like, you are wearing black today and you look like you're a ninja. Like you guys just see how inauthentic that sounds to begin with. All right. So anybody who sounds like that has no idea what they're talking about. Now, on the other hand, in the top tiers, all guys that come across cool and authentic, that's a guy that knows what the fuck he's talking about more than likely, or is at least, even if he doesn't know how to coach, is at least good with women. Some guys are good with women and they don't know how to coach, which we'll actually get into that in a moment. But yeah, here, let's start breaking this down. So let's clear all that out here. And then let's go to the very first guy. So unfortunately, I feel really bad because I know a lot of guys do like this person, and I actually have no qualm or beef with him. He just doesn't. He's the interaction I was just mentioning. You are wearing all black and you look like a ninja. That's what I used to do when I was in like beginner, early intermediacy. because I didn't know what I was doing wrong or right. So I would just say anything and I'd just be like, this is a very interesting way of putting it. I'm going to say it in this way because I'm going to hypnotize. You don't know what you're doing really at that stage. And this guy just like kind of comes across a little bit, nobody get offended, just very autistic. He just comes across very like he can't read social cues. When I watch his stuff, it's more like it seems like he's rolling the dice and hoping the girl likes him so he can get some good infield. It doesn't seem like he knows what he's doing. Now, the next guy actually is going to piss off even more people, and I apologize. This is not me trying to piss people off. And I also do know that I might be biased on this one because this guy does not like me. So that could be me, not going to lie. But I've watched a lot of his content. I watched a lot of his infield. I've watched a lot of the way things he teaches guys, and I'm very certain of this placement. Yeah, so that guy. I'm not going to say his name. Some of you guys already know him. He talks a lot of crap about certain companies, but then he teaches their exact techniques, except for maybe like one caveat difference. But the one caveat difference makes the game in the product itself actually even worse and doesn't even make any sense. He'll tell guys like to get physical really early on, when in all actuality, like at certain places that would actually be really bad in the situation. He's telling guys to get physical. Hello, I wanted to meet you. Yeah, ha 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 ha. And he like laughs to like release the tension in the sets. Even on the camera, he does a lot of really awkward stuff like that. He doesn't understand why it's awkward. So I know he's not very good at reading social cues, which is a big turnoff when it comes to having a dating coach. You better have a dating coach that can read social cues and know what he's doing, or a lot of lying. And by the way, he lies a lot to the girls. I'm going to tell you this. You don't think he's lying to you guys, okay? That's all. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to say anything too expansive on that because I'm not trying to get my ass sued or get this video taken down, because I think it's going to be a fun video for me to make and a fun video for you guys to watch. All right. Now, next one. Now, here's the problem with this guy. And yeah, for these guys down here, I'm going to try to avoid saying their names too much because I'm not trying to like be a jerk to them. You know, it's more just me demonstrating like kind of like what's going on here, why I would put them where they're at, okay? Once we get in the higher tiers, advanced mastery, the guys in advanced mastery are amazing people. I endorse all of them. I think they're all super cool guys and definitely should get coaching from them. With this guy specifically, he gets very butthurt in the sets very easily. He's very monotonous. He doesn't have any direction with his conversations. He just talks at the girl and then he tries to get a phone number and crosses fingers that it works. That's pretty much what he does. So what a lot of these guys do, and he's a natural day gamer. So this is what he does. He doesn't know what he's doing wrong or right. So what he did is he made a system and he tries to force every girl through the system. Instead of like being like fluid, you talk to a certain type of person, you change up the tone, you change up the jokes, you stay fluid. Like you're not playing a piano. It's not talking to women and being charismatic is not a hard skill. It's a soft skill. There's a difference. And you need to be able to calibrate. If you're doing it this way, you're going to get maybe one in a very large number of the girls into you, because you like eventually by just forcing so many girls through this, one of them's just going to go through the system and work and come out the other side being like, okay, fine. But if like most of the girls are going to and just like fuck off, because you're trying to run through a rote system instead of being authentically cool. So it's more about the mindsets, the beliefs, and the habits, as opposed to like creating some kind of system you're going to force them through. Not to mention too, a lot of the guys that teach natural game, what they do is they don't know how to actually improve, and that's why they actually endorse natural game. So they tried improving for a lot of years, but then they didn't do it very well. So then what they did was they backed off all the techniques and found, oh, cool, when I don't try to do anything different than who I am, my game gets better. Yes, it does momentarily. Here's the thing. When you're trying to practice a dozen different things at the same time, you're not going to practice any one thing all that well. Not to mention when you're practicing a dozen different things, you can't be present with the girl. So obviously you're not going to do that good with the girl. However, if you practice one or two things that are the most beneficial to your game, you're going to have a very slight change in your game, and then you're going to have a long-term benefit. So then down the line, you can get into advanced, master, like you can reach higher heights, as opposed to like being stuck where you are for the rest of your life. And like being like, it must be my looks, it must be this, it must be that. You don't know what you're talking about if that's the case. Natural game, that's why natural game sucks. Natural game is very good for short term. If you're going through like a month of just bad results, do natural game for like a couple weeks, a month, and then get back onto the horse with practicing different techniques, right? Field reports, think critically. Because if you don't think critically and don't think about what you can do differently to improve your results, of course, you're going to get stuck in intermediate, which is called intermediate purgatory. And that's why everybody gets stuck in intermediate purgatory. So if you're stuck in intermediate purgatory, there's the cure for anybody's curious. Now, let's go on to the next one. Now, this guy right here, I love his tone. He has an amazing tone. He has a great vibe. This is a guy that I'd totally be like good friends with. This is the only qualm with him that I have. I've heard a lot of stories that he doesn't know what he's doing when it comes to coaching. So I think he's a natural. A lot of the guys who are naturals, they don't know how to give you good feedback on how to improve. So when it comes down to like feedback on how to improve, they don't know how to. They don't know how to. They'll give you like they'll tell you something like they'll be like, well, just say lines like a rapper, or just act like a black guy. It's like just be cool, man. Just be cool. It's as easy as being cool. Go talk to her. Go talk to her. Go talk to her. And it's like, dude, why? What are you doing? Come on. Like, it's not his fault. He just doesn't know what he's doing, and that's the problem. And that's why a lot of times when you go work with a guy, that like you will learn a lot by being around him and just being in his energy, because he has such great energy when it comes to being with women. That's the only reason why I wouldn't even put him in advanced, just for that simple tactic. To be honest, I think his game is advanced, but I don't think his coaching is, and that's why I kind of kept him right here. All right, so for anybody who's curious. All right, now this guy is actually, again, somebody I might be biased on. Is actually one of Todd's coaches. He's also a good friend of mine. But this is the first guy in advanced. So he has a very deep understanding of game, and we both came together and we game together all the time. He actually has, his name is Matt. He's actually one of Todd Valentine's coaches. He's very good with women. He's very good. He knows what he's talking about. He has amazing energy. He's a very cool guy. And that's actually why I'm even friends with him. I think he's a dope dude. I think he's amazing. He's super cool, super smooth. He knows exactly why he's smooth too. And that's why he's a great coach. So unlike the guy previous, Matt here is a great coach. And he's a guy that I'd always endorse. All right, I always push him. All right. Next guy is Austin Summers. So Austin Summers is somebody that I think has incredible game. He's actually going to be in the top 10 series, to be honest. But then that video ended up getting scrapped because so many videos were going out, and it took me like 24 hours to make the video and get it all shot up. And then the file got corrupted and I couldn't make it. It had a lot of cool scenes from him. He has amazing game. I also think he's a great coach. The only thing, like one caveat is he does point coaching. Otherwise though, like other than the point coaching, which means like he doesn't give you a lot of feedback, he does more demonstrations, which is just it's a very minor thing. Other than that though, I think he's a great coach. So he's somebody that he's very funny. He's very smooth. He knows what to say. He always has a very good masculine energy. He's actually, like I said, he's just somebody that I would put in top 10 series, like straight up. Oh, this guy actually, shoot. I really hate putting guys in this category, to be honest. So I'm not going to say this guy's name. I don't mean to do this to this guy, but he's too aggressive on the approach. I've seen him do this, and he also doesn't have very much in the way of standards. I don't know much about his coaching. I've heard that he's blown up at other coaches and done some really weird stuff. His approach is very aggressive, and it's a little bit too aggressive. It's actually on the verge of it being like very autistic at times, and that's why I put him here. He does, I know he gets results, but the results I feel like are very sporadic from watching his infield. Just not a lot of emotional IQ, essentially, which is actually really sad too, because I know that he's actually interned for one of the RSD coaches for a long time. So I'm kind of like, still a cool guy. It's just, just the game could do a lot better, to be honest. Like he's just too aggressive. Like he doesn't calibrate whatsoever to the girl, from what I've seen personally. Okay. Now this guy right here is really good, JP. What really impresses me with JP is not only is he a natural, but he knows why he's a natural. He knows how to improve. He actually is another guy, just like Matt, who came to a lot of the same conclusions about game as me separately. I actually even watched a lot of his infields from his product, from one of Todd Valentine's products, and I actually watched specifically his infields and his breakdowns on the infield. He has a very deep understanding of game, and I've heard a lot of stories about him having his clients even pull during the day. I heard amazing results from him and his crew. Like all the Todd Valentine's crew, his coaches, I heard were fucking incredible. So I'm massively impressed with like the results I've been hearing from my own clients. So whenever I get a new client, I always ask if they ever worked with another coach. And then from there, I always ask, what are the new techniques so I can learn them myself? What are the things they told you about game? What are this? And I always try to pick their brain to learn about these coaches. And the stuff I heard about JP was pretty impressive. So JP is one of Todd Valentine's coaches. Pretty cool. All right, now this is another guy, Coach Kyle. Coach Kyle, at first, I was like a little bit apprehensive because he came up so fast. But I looked at his infields and also talked to him in person on one of Playing with Fire's calls. Massively cool guy, super cool. Also knows how to draw boundaries with women, is very masculine, has amazing tone when he's talking to girls, knows how to like play the vibe right. He's legit, like, just like a super cool dude. Like, you can just sense it in the energy. I know he's pretty good at this stuff. Like, I know, like, to be honest, I only seen like a very small handful of his infield, but talking to him, seeing him about, seeing his infield, seeing his videos, very, very cool guy, very dope guy. Like, I would not put it past him to actually be getting very incredible results with women. All right, now next one is actually massively biased. So take this one with a grain of salt. AG. So AG originally, I actually wanted to put right about here, to be honest, because I know him personally. So him and me both work extremely hard on our game, and I cannot explain how hard we work. We study like celebrities and they're considered good women. We watch their mannerisms, and we watch guys that are bad, and we study their mannerisms, and we try to see those mannerisms in ourselves, try to get rid of the good ones, the bad ones. We are like constantly we're constantly counting our approaches. We're constantly like legit, we push each other so freaking hard. Like, to be honest, I think we're both like on the verge of right where I put him right here, but I also felt like it was biased, so I put him more right here. His game is incredible. When I first he didn't tell me he was a coach at first. I remember we were pulling these super hot girls, and he was so smooth with it, had such great verbals. He was actually so impressive so I actually met up with him without him actually even ever buying a boot camp from me. I was just like desperate for a wing at the time, because I was going through a lot of stuff, and I was like trying to find guys that were just as passionate about games as me, and he seemed to fit the mark. And so I invited him out, and his game was just incredible, and I was blown away. I've never actually had a client as good a game as he is. And we actually ended up fighting over the same girl, and then we both ended up like trying to push the girl back onto each other, like, no, you have her, no, you have her, you have her. And we started like, and the girl got all like, what the fuck was going on here? So very badass motherfucking dude. And when I'm talking about this girl, she's a straight dime. Like, she was hot. Like, she's actually in the end of my very first self-amusement video. If you guys are curious what she looks like, that's the girl. Like, that was actually our very first time going on gaming, was that for that infield. Yeah. If he's not in master yet, he will be eventually. So that's my prediction, okay? Right here. Next guy. First guy in mastery. This guy also too is also on the fence a little bit. There were times where I seen him act really nervous in infield, but at the same time too, his verbals are so fucking clean and good. So I'm kind of like putting him right here, I'd say. It's just so clean. His verbals are so clean, so good. He has such a great, positive, upbeat energy. You can tell the guy put a lot of work into his game. I massively respect this guy. His channel is Honest Signals. He actually taught Austin Summers. He's his mentor. So you can see like the difference. Like, you see like how they kind of like how they built each other up, and how he kind of Austin Summers took a lot of his game understanding a game from this man right here. Very good game, very great eye contact. When you watch it, you can be like, man, his energy is so fucking just authentic and cool. Like, I would be like straight friends with this guy. This guy's fucking fire. I would always endorse this guy. If you guys want to get coaching from somebody, if it's not, moi, he's definitely a good second choice, okay? For sure. Now, this one's pretty obvious. This is one of my mentors, so obviously I'm biased as all hell, but I'm biased for a reason, okay? This guy, I've never seen anybody do what this guy's done. Nowadays, too, he's out of the game, so I really can't say too much about him anymore. He probably wouldn't even consider himself to be right here at this point, unless he's still gaming, which I don't think he is. But back when he was like maybe like 5 years ago, incredible. Like, I've never seen anybody do what he did. Like, I thought I was hot shit when I worked for RSD. And by the way, his name is Julian Blanc. He's from RSD. If you actually can find his infield online, you can find it on like different like mega forums and whatnot. Watch the infield, watch what he's doing. I'm gonna tell you this, it's all real. It's incredible. The little micro things he's doing. I actually did like a little breakdown on my Next Gen Seduction Group. So if anybody wants to join that group, I actually made an entire Julian breakdown of his infield for like an hour and a half, explaining why this guy's so incredible. So if you want a deeper, in-depth understanding of what that is, go like join my group, Next Gen Seduction Group, and I'll actually show you guys why his game's so good. I don't want to like steal stuff though, and I know they're trying to stay underground right now with this, so I don't want to put them on blast or anything like that by putting up their infield on YouTube for sure. I would never do that to these guys. But if you want to personally see why I think they're so incredible, definitely join the group and I'll show you. Okay. Now, this one again is another one that's very biased. He's also a personal friend of mine now. Cool guy and a very empathetic, caring person, a very empathetic, caring soul. And his game is also very fucking good, and his coaching is also very good. His coaching is fucking incredible. I actually learned so much just by watching his infield of him coaching that I stole for myself, and I'd watch it on a repeat over and over until I could digest and understand why he was coaching him in this way. He could demonstrate on command. He'd be like, all right, so you're doing like this. Now watch, I'm going to approach the way you approach, and he'll do it, and they'll like get rejected, but he's like, now watch this. And he switches it up, approaches the way you're supposed to, and then like just does it straight in front of the client, on command, on demand. His infield is also so fucking clean. He's very good at getting dime pieces chasing him. His ability to get girls chasing him is incredible. His understanding of social dynamics is very strong. So here's the cool little, actually here, there's a difference between hammers and butter knives. So each of these guys, I give a different rating in coaching versus game ability. So like Julian is better at game than Tyler, but Tyler is better at coaching than Julian. Now JP is amazing at game, whereas maybe like, well, actually here, I'm not even gonna do JP because JP is actually good at both. Let's see, who's another person? All right, so the guy between intermediate and advanced, I don't want to say his name because I don't know if he'd enjoy like being right there. A lot of people would also say that he's probably higher, just as a heads up. It's just my own personal thing from what I've seen on my limited experience. He has incredible game. He has game that's on the same level as maybe like Coach Kyle, JP, like, you know, Avery. But when it comes down to coaching, his coaching ability, he doesn't have the understanding to do it. But usually like the coaching versus game can be a very good tell of like how good you are at game. So like they're usually very closely correlated, so you can do it. But like there's a hammer. A hammer is somebody that has the ability to approach massively. That's pow, 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 just fire them out and just like but they learn games so fucking fast that the problem is that because they learn games so fast because they just do so much mass approaching, they learn all these lessons without actually having to learn them on a deep level. So it's hard for them to teach the lessons. Julian does have a good tactic to help out with this though. He does a lot of demonstration. He does a lot of demonstration over the fact of him trying to, you know, actually coach you. So that's the difference. A butter knife is more like very empathetic. We're very afraid of rejection, but because we're so afraid of rejection, because we're so like caring and emotional and empathetic, we read social cues better. So we learn the social cues quicker, but we have to like to actually learn how to change ourselves because we're very usually codependent. We have to change ourselves on a deep level. And because you have to change yourself on deep levels, a lot more work. And when you have to put in all that kind of work, it's a lot easier for you to understand game on a deep level, which is why I'm so technically so good at understanding it, but why getting good at game took me so long. But now that it took me so long, now I can explain things like this concept because it took me so long to get good at this. Now, the final guy before I actually have to get going is this guy, obviously. Now, this guy's both a great coach and great at game. There's nothing else I can say. Todd Valentine, obviously coach of the two other guys, JP and Matt Palmer. Again, this is another guy that I actually know personally. He actually hit me up to be one of his coaches at one point, but didn't know I had a YouTube channel, so that didn't work out. But I still love this guy. This guy's amazing at game. Like, I actually have a breakdown of him, if you guys want to check it out, of why his game is so good in my top 10 series. But these guys are all masters. These are the only guys that actually even consider masters, to be honest. That's how rare it is to be a master. It's basically where you can demonstrate game on command, where you can like understand what you're doing at any given point. You know, when you're like building attraction, losing it, you know how to push the interaction any which way. When you talk to a girl, you very quickly can put her in a box, understand her personality, persona, understand what she's doing, why she's like a certain type of personality, know how to bend and move it around. Like Todd's blueprint method was very revolutionary for me, and it actually gave me a lot of new insight into game. Like this guy specifically actually taught me so much new shit about game that I like out of everybody on this list, I say that he actually taught me the most when it comes to just understanding game, watching his videos, his understanding of shit. So his flaking was actually something that took me a long time to figure out. I didn't understand why girls would flake guys so aggressively, and he actually made the perfect explanation for it. It's actually still the only explanation I'll take. It's the greatest explanation. If you guys want to check it out, he just understands game on such a good level, on a deep level. Such an intelligent guy. Like literally, all four of these guys are probably straight geniuses, to be honest. They're all like really fucking smart. I wouldn't put it past them. I'm legit such a fanboy of all of them. I assume that they were probably super geniuses, to be honest. But that's just me being a fanboy. All right. Well, anyways. If you guys have any questions or you guys want to bitch about this list, I know some of you do. Let me know. That being said, peace. I am the king, I need a throne. Get on the track and I kill it, I'm gone. Never gonna get me out of my zone. Everyone always calling my phone, sending a song they want me on. I be saying no, we are not the same. I'ma let them know, run up in the game, never lose control. I've been on my way, I'm incredible. Damn, work every day of the week, that mean I'm becoming a beast. Everyone coming for me, I'm curry for three. You know I'm